So,
There's also the fact I'm using Discord on the laptop, which isn't as great a computer. So now that I've figured out that that mic actually works on this computer, I might quickly switch over to using Discord's audio on that. So give me a quick sec here.
okay. So, what's your girlfriend's stream?
Oh, she streams Lord of the Rings online.
Oh, sweet.
Eh.
You could hear my enthusiasm die as soon as you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I play it on like I might play once every other week or something. But that's sort of like her game. She plays it a lot. I don't know.
Well, sweet. I've never like had the dedication to like stick with an MMO.
Yeah, and it seems also like a generational thing. Like I think I'm like, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
22.
Yeah. I think it's something like, so I'm 34. So I think it's something like people my age were really into when we were your age.
Yeah.
You know, like when World of Warcraft first came out and stuff like that. So like most gamers I know that are my age have played World of Warcraft for some period of time. So she never did. So she's sort of gotten into it now, and she's having like MMO thing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for whatever reason, Discord is freezing up on the other machine. So I guess I'm here and hoping for the best.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's weird. What? Everything is going wrong today.
Yeah. Oh well. That's life. I'm pushing forward. We've been streaming for the last 5 minutes of silence. So, goddamn. So, Ken, do you want this medic to, inoculate you?
Yes, I will be inoculated.
Dope. So, you guys failed the knowledge roll, so, you know. It's a very weird process you've never heard of, so. He goes ahead, he cuts you, he drops the blood, he gets the salve, he spreads it over your wound, he cleans it up, he wraps it up. Boom, bang, you're good to go. Then he packs up, thanks you for your time, and heads out. Did you hear any of that?
Yes. What is your character? I can't remember your character's name. Is it Asako Hiroshi?
Oh, sorry about that. Apparently it decided to finally work on the other machine very suddenly. So I might have missed a few words.
Is Asako Hiroshi, is that your character's name for this game?
That is indeed.
Okay.
I might need to adjust the mic sensitivity on this.
Asako, how are you feeling after the
Am I
inoculation?
feeling unusual at all?
You're not. You feel.
That's-
You feel fine.
I feel perfectly normal.
Except
Me
now you're
also.
pregnant with aliens.
Oh no, that's less than ideal.
Hopefully that shall improve our situation as we make our way to the dojo of the light flame. Out of character, where is this dojo? I couldn't find any reference to it.
That is the dojo that is housed in Kyuden, Osaka.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we're already in that town.
You're in Kyuden, Isawa.
Oh, okay.
But I'll
That's right.
I'll pop on the world map in a few minutes, and we can see exactly where you guys are in relation.
Okay.
So you guys, you've got your information, and you're packing up so you can leave first thing in the morning. I assume you grab a few like jade items just in case anything really bad goes on.
Yes, that would be wise.
Cool. Do you want to
You're cutting out.
Damn it. I was asking if you guys bring any jade items with you to the dojo.
I mean, that does seem the sensible choice.
I thought so. In which of
Tell
your
me again, what is the function of crystal and what is the function of what's the other three substances?
Jade
crystal.
is protective against the taint.
Right.
Crystal is it affects the line darkness quite well. It does have some effect on some tainted creatures and on some spirits. Obsidian is more unfortunate.
Okay. And is jade is somewhat common?
It's fairly rare, but it's more common than the other two.
Okay. So yes, I imagine I'll bring a couple jade objects.
Cool. And which of your, if any of your Yorkie are you gonna bring along with you?
Let's see.
Which of the Yuriki is the most socially stable?
Probably Asako Hako.
Yep.
Akko seems a good choice.
Cool. Then she's who you bring along with you. And with that, you guys are gonna turn in for the night. Due to your distinguished service for the Office 34, you guys actually have your own private domiciles within the city of Kyuden-Isawa. So this map shows like the main palace, basically the castle, and the castle is surrounded by an actual city. Despite all art of Kyuden-Isawa showing it just in the middle of nowhere, it's actually in the middle of a town, but I digress. So Mr. Mr. Isawa, you managed to get home unabated, but Mr. Sako, you were actually waylaid on your way outside of the tower by a man in very nice Shugenja robes who will actually wave you down, for he wishes to speak with you. Do you wish to speak with him?
Who's being waved down?
You.
You are, Hiroshi.
I'd approach then.
This man gives a steady bow to you. Says you're Asako Hiroshi, correct?
Correct.
It's a pleasure to meet you. We've heard a lot about you and your talents. My name is Isawa Ogawa. He stumbles over his own name just like that. I meant to do that. My name's Isawa Ogawa. I am a student of Isawa Ran, and you've actually heard of this fellow. He is Isawa Ran is one of the tenseis of the Void. Oh no, Ken, I can't hear you.
You cut out a lot.
Red, yeah. As I was talking, I could see like my voice connection turn yellow. But can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. You don't seem to be cutting out at the moment.
All right, Red. I'm just gonna speak just really fast. This man is the student of the Tensei of the Void, Isawa Ran, and he introduces himself politely to you and gives a deep bow. How do you respond?
It is an honor to meet such an esteemed Ishiken as yourself.
Oh, thank you, but the honor is all mine, my fellow Ishiken. I was actually sent here with an invitation by my master, Isawa Ran, as he would, news of your talents
Do I owe this pleasure?
Oh no. Well, my master is actually wishes to extend an invitation to you to enjoy his tutelage within the dojo of the Void.
You cut out in the middle there. Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's mine for, I don't know, being mean to a gypsy one time. My master Isawa Ran would wish to extend an invitation for you to join him as a student at his dojo.
That is a most honorable calling.
Indeed, my master thought you'd be pleased with it. But of course, he knows your duties with the dojo, of course, keep you occupied. However, he wishes to let you know that whenever you can stop by the Void Dojo, you are welcome to learn from him.
If you've said anything in the last 15 seconds or so, I've heard it.
Kill me. I'm just gonna, when I finish sentences, I'm gonna say stop, and then that'll be the cue.
The funny thing is I could hear you. Like,
Yeah.
I can hear everything you're saying.
I can hear everything you're saying right now. Chris, it's in and out right now.
I'm telling you, that's the monkey paw. We can only 2/3 of the triangle can be formed at a time.
So, let's see. Another option, if we want to try something else, I'm going to see if I have Skype on my phone.
This is just turning into the most complicated thing.
I don't. Alright, never mind. Let's keep going.
Let's see. Ken, can you mute me on Discord, but talk to me on Roll20?
That seems like a way to do it. Give me a moment. Oh, I wonder if we'll run into problems trying to use my mic for Roll20 versus use it for Discord. Let's see how that goes.
Because you can hear Josh just fine, right?
Usually.
Alright, it looks like I'm broadcasting on Roll20.
Alright, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Sweet.
Can you hear me, Josh?
Yes, I can hear both of you.
Sweet. And this is with me muted on Discord?
Yes.
All
So
right.
I'm currently hearing you through Roll20 and Josh through Discord.
That
And
sucks.
Josh is hearing me through Discord and you're hearing me through Roll20. Because this is the madness we are living in now.
It's like we're in the Shadowlands.
Yep. That sucks. Okay. So,
But it works.
I guess. So, starting from the top, this beautiful Void Shugenja walks up to you, Asako Hiroshi. He gives you a bow. Are you Asako Hiroshi?
I am? Who am I speaking?
Oh, well, the honor is mine. My name is Isawa Ogawa. I am a student of the Void Tensei Isawa Ran.
Ah, most esteemed dojo.
Yes, my master actually wishes for me to extend an invitation to you to come to the Dojo of Void whenever you find opportunity in your busy schedule, so you may study under him.
I would dare not refuse such an esteemed offer. My
Haha.
duties may keep me very busy, but as soon as I may do so, I surely shall accept such an invitation.
And he smiles politely and says, "Excellent, then I shall convey this to my master. And I look forward to studying with you."
And I give a polite bow.
He gives his polite bow to you as well. And Josh, are you back with us?
Well, since he is not, I will quickly make her onto the washroom.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry.
Hey, welcome back. So, you head back to your home within Kunisawa. You have a nice little house all to yourself, which is much more luxurious than what's the word? Just living the barracks with the rest of the schmucks.
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, what's the inside of your house look like? You've spent a little bit of time here. You've been pretty busy with the office, but you've managed to decorate it to your liking. What's it look like?
Well, this is where I grew up and where my family lives. Although I don't suppose, like, I feel as though there is a rift between my family and I, though the rift is completely imagined on my part, so I don't suppose I would live with them. But I'd imagine I'd have like a pretty nice, like, it might be even nicer than, like, slightly nicer than my station would dictate, just because I think I come from maybe a prominent family in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I might even have had this
Before?
maybe like a small, like, apartment before, or maybe not an apartment, but, you know, like a small abode before. So I imagine it's like kind of fully furnished and pretty lived in. I think Asawa would keep it pretty immaculate, and it would be decorated with much of it would be decorated with both the kind of red and golds of the Phoeni-X, right? Those are our colors.
Yes.
And the kind of yellow. What are the lions? Is it yellow and black or something?
Gold and brown, I think, are the colors.
Gold and brown, yeah. So, like, also sort of those colors as well. And I picture it fairly small but open, and there's probably a space where I can kind of practice my Kenjutsu sort of footwork and movements and things like that.
Sounds perfect. It's late at night by the time you get back to your house, as you guys were, studying pretty hard, but you eventually make it back to your abode, and you slide open your door because, nobody locks their house in feudal Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So you manage to slide your house open, and it's just like pitch black inside. And you're like, and you go ahead and go inside, but actually as you enter up, you're like, it's actually suspiciously pitch black in here. And as you make your way through, you're like, I usually keep some windows open at this time of night. It's the springtime. It's so nice outside. But all your windows are closed, all the screens are shut, and maybe even like draped over just to make things a little bit more dark. And at this point you're like, highly suspicious. At which point there is a sound of like a match striking, basically, and you see like just a small like lightning bug of like red light kind of swirl around near a corner, and you see tendrils of smoke lit up by this little red spark in the corner of your room, and you recognize it as like an incense being lit, and it kind of gets like sat in a holder, you presume, in the corner.
Do I recognize, like, is this completely strange, or do I sometimes get visitors that do this?
This is completely foreign to you.
Yeah, I think I would draw my katana. Probably quietly. And I would say, who is there?
And with that, there's like, I have no idea what they're called, but on incense, there's also like the really thick pieces of wood that you use to like light a ceremonial fire. Those get lit up as well. and with this like somewhat brighter flame, just for cinematic effect, it manages to light the figure up enough, even though I'm confident it wouldn't actually be able to produce that much light. And you see sitting there on a cushion in the corner is a kind of an older, like middle-aged lady. She's like setting up a shrine in the corner of your house where previously there was not a shrine. She seems to have taken the liberty to do that for you.
Do I recognize the woman?
You do not
the
recognize her. The shrine, if you want to make a theology lore, or yeah, I think you have lore theology.
Yep.
Or lore fortunes.
Oh, that's untrained, I believe. I am trained, so whichever the trained roll is, that would be the roll to use. Seriously? All right. So 13.
All right, with a 13, yeah, you don't know what. You don't recognize the shrine that's set up. This woman's wearing. Sorry.
Of course, that's the way it would happen, right? My untrained roll gets a 25.
Yeah. She's wearing
up above, but I'd use 2 void points.
If you'd like to, you can go ahead and do that.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Go ahead. She's wearing.
What you like presume are like the clothes of a Ronin. They're really nothing special and kind of shabby. They have no clan identifications on them at all. But the way she, like, her eyes are very acute, like cat's eyes or whatever. You're like clench your butthole because she looks like very intelligent as she's staring.
Does she have a wakizashi on her?
She does, yes. She's got.
I say, what is the meaning of this?
The full daisho. And she says,
Oh.
Does that change things?
No, I was just surprised. Okay, so a daisho would indicate that she's a bushi, right?
Yes. And she.
Or otherwise, what?
Sorry, what was that?
I didn't hear what Ken said. He spoke too quickly.
And it could also indicate she simply knows how to do herself, regardless of.
That's true.
Okay.
It's entirely reasonable for a non-bushi to carry a katana if they defend them. It's just if you do carry a katana, you are expected to be able to defend yourself.
Okay. Yes. What is the meaning of this? You are intruding in a magistrate's abode. A Phoeni-X magistrate's abode.
She nods. She places her hand over her heart and bows to you and says, "Of course. I wish to extend my apologies for the breach of etiquette I've committed on you. However, I just wished to extend my delight about the case that you've undertaken. At the moment, it is very pleasing towards myself, and I simply wished to extend some help in the case, if I might be so bold."
Issa's eyes narrow. Which case do you speak of?
The 6 infected children at the Asako dojo. Of course.
How do you know we are working on this?
She waves her hand dismissively. I have many sources within the magistrates, and she kind of fans.
I'll sheath my katana at this point, but I'm still sort of like This was quite dubious of this woman. And so, what would it be would it be investigation? To kind of try to get like a read on her, see if she's like telling the truth.
Yeah, investigation
Like,
sounds
see if
good
she
to me.
like what her actual motives are, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
I will spend a void point on this.
Empathy would also work if you have. Oh wait,
I
this game doesn't have empathy. I played too many systems.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
They're all just synonyms of the same name. A 19, she seems like she's being genuine with you. She's obviously a figure that has many secrets, but what she's telling you seems to be the truth, and she believes it.
So go on then.
Okay. When you sheath your blade, you notice that she like visibly relaxes. When you were talking to her, she seemed like she was chill. But then once like you sheath the blade, you're like, oh, she was actually like super tensed up, and so she kind of gets a little bit more comfortable.
I mean, I think Iswa, even though he's put his weapon away, he still like very visibly distrusts this person.
Yes, of course. And are you familiar with the sport of sumo wrestling, Mr. Isawa?
I have seen it a time or two.
Well, excellent. As you must know, in sumo wrestling, there are different categories that the wrestlers are separated into, depending on their weight. Because, of course, you would have an advantage over your opponent if you significantly outweighed them, is the theory.
Indeed.
So, as with that, I would like to inform you that at the moment, you are challenging a mystery that is much above your weight class, as it were. And things could get dangerous for you if you continue.
And how do you know this? You speak with a knowledge of this subject.
I do indeed, because I've been investigating these things for some time as well. And like yourself, I wish, I wish for the truth to be known for people. So if we are going to have a productive relationship, I want to ensure that you're steadfast in your chase for the truth, I guess.
I am a magistrate of the Phoeni-X clan. I seek to bring truth to all matters.
She goes, oh, well, excellent. And with that, she draws a piece of paper from her kimono and sets it on the shrine that she's set up in your corner. And she says that will hopefully get you started in the right direction. And she will, give a bow towards you. And the shrine, it has like a little like Netsuke statue that she's managed to procure for you. It looks quite exquisite. It goes completely against like her raggedy clothing, that she would like gift you something that nice. She says, if you ever need my assistance again, simply place that statue in your she points over towards the window, on that windowsill, and I shall arrive at some point to bring illumination. She,
What
go ahead.
what stake do you have in this?
Well, the people behind these infected children are, endangering all of Rokugan with their aims. So, the same stake that everybody else has. I just want to live.
So you know who is behind this?
I do not know who is behind it, no. I simply know that, it reaches quite far and is most distasteful.
And why should I trust you? Why should I trust a Ronin?
Because when I leave, you will look at that paper, and that clue will help you break the case, and that's all the satisfaction. And you will see that I am telling you the truth.
Very well then.
And with that, she will get up and attempt to leave your abode.
Yeah, I don't keep her. I just sort of watch her leave.
Okie doke.
And then I'll wait a few seconds, and then I'll go pick up the piece of paper.
Alrighty, and you notice that as she leaves the room, you actually, you don't know what the feeling is, but it's like you've been holding your breath for a long time, and suddenly, you can breathe again. That's, the exact same feeling that, you get, but you weren't holding your breath. You just, suddenly felt like you were breathing again for some reason. And a long time from now, we'll know what that means. But for now, there we have it. On this piece of paper, written in a man's handwriting, are the letters S, A, and I. And they're written together as if in a word.
Okay.
And you sigh and say, very anticlimactic.
Yes, I will. With that, Iswa will say, a shadow cannot illuminate darkness.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. Very nice. And with that, you recover your void points.
Okay.
And also,
Well, I assume I'd when I'd spent the void points at the office, I'd meditated before coming home. So
yeah,
because I only have 2 void points. So.
Sure. Then we go ahead to the next day. It's bright in the morning, and we see our 4 samurai heading out from Kyunin-Isawa. It is, of course, Asaka Hiroshi, Isawa Tasai, Shiba Umbeyashi, and Asako Hako. Ooh, I have a map for this. Come on. Da 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 da. And presently, you guys are, much like Indiana Jones, you are heading along this path. To Kyunin-Asako. You guys are so happy you're heading towards another family capital because the last travel was pretty hard. You all got malaria. One of you still has it. It was very rough going, but the road between Kyunin-Isawa and Kyunin-Asako is a testament to the wisdom of the Phoeni-X family, or the Phoeni-X clan, actually. Right now, you're like on one of the most just technologically advanced roads on the face of the Empire. Everywhere else, the roads are like stamped down dirt, basically. And they will continue to be that way until the steel chrysanthemum fixes all the roads in the Empire. However, the Phoeni-X for the moment enjoy just the absolute best roads. They're like Roman roads, so they just like dig through the landscape and are paved with stones and are smooth and clean and well guarded and make traveling an absolute joy. And that's all the talk about roads that I can really get into.
I assume we're going to like spend. I don't know what the scale is, but I assume like maybe just the leg between Kudanasawa and Shiroshiba. That's probably days, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I assume when we stay in Shiroshiba, I will visit my former dojo and former sensei and things like that. We don't have to do a scene with that. I just wanted to mention that.
yeah, of course. That all happens. And is Ken just being quiet, or have I accidentally like muted him into oblivion?
Oh, I haven't heard him. I haven't noticed him speaking. Ken? Oh, man. I don't know what happened.
Yo, tight. That's what I want.
But it seems like I can't hear him either, so it must be an input problem, like his mic isn't working. Oh, I just heard that.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Did Chris? Okay.
All right, we back rolling. We doing this. If we make it to the end of this, I'll just be pleasantly surprised.
This is disastrous technology-wise.
Yeah. I'm grateful it held together so long last time. But yeah, you know, when Mr. Asako goes to Shiroshiba, everybody's like pleased that this nerd's managed to really make something of his life and are very happy about it. And
excellent.
What was that, Ken?
I didn't actually say it.
Oh, right, I forgot. When I speak, I can hear it on Discord from you, so I thought you were trying to talk the entire time. But I won't make that mistake again. And eventually after...
Sorry? Why haven't you muted me on Discord?
Because I actually can't hear you on Roll20.
Oh, dear God. I thought it was going right.
It's like 75% right.
No, it's far less than that. It's 100%.
But you know, as long as we can kind of hear everybody, that's all that matters. So after a bit of comfortable travel, no problems with bugs, you get bit by mosquitoes, but lo and behold, no one dies. It's a good feeling, you know? You finally arrive at a Kudanasawa, and Ken goes, I'm home. Kudanasawa is famed for being the only other palaces in the Empire that are more beautiful are in the Crane Land. This is just a real top-of-the-line palace. It's built into the side of a mountain and ranges from it, and through there's like, surrounding that mountain are beautiful woodlands and just very tranquil forests, and it's very much out of the way. So it's not really of any tactical value, so they don't have to build a wall around it. They don't have to build like towers or anything. It's just like beautiful for the sake of being beautiful and doesn't have to compromise for any reason.
Asako-san,
Hi.
am I mistaken in assuming that Kyuden Asako is your home?
It is where I was born, where I spent the early part of my life. But once I began to manifest my connection to the void, I quickly was spirited away to Osaka to be with Sensei.
I have
here in many.
What was that? You have not been here in many
Years.
Is your family still here? Is your family still here, Asako-san?
I would assume so, though they may be slightly less easy to reach. Most would be. Both my parents are among the henshin. And I would presume my siblings as well.
Do I know what the henshin is?
That's the monk-like order, has the weird keep elemental powers.
Oh, okay. Crap, before you said that I had another question and now I can't remember what it is. Are you familiar with the dojo in question then?
To a degree, it was considered brief that I be among the Inquisitors, but for obvious reasons, that was not what my lot in life was.
Very well then. We shall move on to our investigation, hopefully.
And with that, the major domo of the castle comes down the 2 million stair steps of Kyuden Asako and bows deeply to the both of you. Greetings, honored magistrates. Are you from Office 34?
I shall bow appropriately, and I say, are from Office 34. We are here to investigate the matter. I assume you are familiar with why we are here. It is the matter at the Dojo of Light Flame.
Yes, sir. I've been fully briefed on the matter and can tell you whatever information you need to know. And he will step aside and gesture for you to begin the climb.
The dojo is up there.
Yes, sir. It's on the 3rd level.
Is it actually 2 million stairs?
It is
what
not
does it
2
look
million
like?
stairs. However, it is a. It looks much worse than the overworld map. Let me bring it to. Boop. So no,
Oh,
That
okay.
looks like a hike.
it does look like a height. The Temple of Last Flame is right there.
Oh, okay.
I need to change my color. That one's unsatisfying to look at. So just a little. That's what the other role is going to be. The Temple of Last Flame is the Dojo of Last Flame. That's where they teach their courtiers. That's their courtier school. And it's also where the Asako Inquisitors are taught as well.
Okay. As
And-
we are moving there, I will I will ask the Major Domo, what do you make of this situation? Seems strange that these 6 young could have become tainted.
He goes, "Oh, I certainly agree, and you know, our castle, our dojo is very scrupulous about everything when it comes to matter of the taint. So I'm sure any infection these children may have suffered, it was certainly of no wrongdoing from our care. I can assure you that, Magistrate San."
Let us hope so.
And he informs
Has
you.
Has this ever happened before?
Of course, we've had cases of, tainted individuals being on the premises. Winter courts, a few infiltrations because of the work we do, but we've never had something this wide scale. This sort of an infiltration. And as you guys are hiking up the steps, you'll say, so we have the Honorable Kuni under arrest in a guest room on one of the lower floors. The students have all been quarantined, and so they're all in their own private barracks at the moment. One of the parents of a child has also, honored us with making a trip here to provide any testimony you need of her son's good nature. Is there anybody else that he takes out an abacus or something? Is there any other appointments you would like to set up for information or any interviews?
I believe I would like to speak with the Honorable Kuni himself. Then I believe I would like to speak.
Yes, that's the name.
Then I would like to speak to the sensei of the class, and then I think I would like to speak with the tainted. And then perhaps the parent of the tainted.
And he nods, and he makes a few notes and goes, "Very well, I will set these all up for you presently."
If possible, I would also speak to the chief physician that treated children.
Yes, sir. I'll get on that immediately. In the meantime, he will gesture towards a bathing room. He's like, "This has been prepared for you. The water is hot, and we will bathe and serve you tea while I prepare these. Prepare you for the interviews or anything the servants can bring you to make you comfortable as you wait."
I shall be very.
One more time, Ken.
I shall be fine. Thank you very much for offering.
Of course.
I am quite hungry from my travels. Perhaps I could have some food delivered.
Yes, of course. We shall bring you nourishment at once. And he steps out and lets you guys finally bathe after a week on the road and brings you some nice brothy soup to eat and some tea to drink as you guys are relaxed from your journey before you have to go into some very unpleasant work.
Yeah, so I assume I'll clean up and then eat and wait. Perhaps if I have time and the major domo still hasn't returned after all that, I might take it upon myself and kind of have a look around.
Okay. The major domo is a fastidious man. He does not keep you waiting for long. And he comes and he says, "All right, so we shall be meeting with the Kuni. After which I have the appointment with the physician set up, followed by the sensei, the students, and then finally the parent."
Thank you. That is as we requested.
And he bows and he says, "Right this way then." And he will take you guys to an interview room where you have your notepads, some ink, some calligraphy work, and just all your investigative tools that you need at your disposal. And you guys sit down on your own cushions, and before long, a woman in just very intricate kabuki makeup is brought into the room, and she's wearing crab samurai, attire. And she is sat down before you. Pardon me, kid?
Just from a bleed. I'm gushing blood out my face.
Are you okay?
Yes. Yeah. I get nosebleeds sometimes. A lot worse. So I will be right back.
Okay.
Okie doke. So, are you familiar with Warhammer 40K?
I mean, I've never played it in any capacity, but I'm aware of it, and I'm aware of it, and I've looked into it a little bit. Are you talking about the RPG?
Yeah, just either one. Well, there's a race in the universe called the Dark Eldar, which are basically just like bondage elves.
Dark.
Yeah.
Right.
So one time my girlfriend was talking to some friends, and she was like pulling up pictures of them to show my friends, and she showed me one of a Dark Eldar woman who was just wearing leather and spikes and was pierced everywhere, and out of nowhere I got a crazy nosebleed. I don't get spontaneous nosebleeds. It's never happened before. It's never happened since. But out of nowhere, she showed me this picture, and I just started gushing out my nose. And now it's the joke of the Dark Eldar for me.
Yeah, I'd looked into playing some Warhammer 40K. There's just not a lot of science fiction RPGs out there. So, especially, there's just not a lot of science fiction RPGs out there. So I think I have the Rogue Trader book on PDF somewhere. But
oh yeah. Have you looked into, let's see, Coriolis? Is that what's called?
Coriolis?
Yeah, it's a science fiction one. I hear it's really good. I haven't read it or anything, but I hear really good reviews for it.
Oh,
I am
is
back.
it new-ish?
Might be a bit nasal for a while. I've got Phoeni-X ramped right up there, so it's going to make my voice more nasal than.
Okay.
Sounds rad. So this Cooney's brought before you. She sat down. She gives you guys a bow. She is a samurai under arrest, which means that she is told that she's under arrest, and it's expected that she won't use her wakizashi to kill anybody and won't leave. But other than that, she has no guards and isn't put in handcuffs or anything. She's just expected to not try to escape. And so far, she's been good. Miyayumi Moshi is her name. She'll bow even though she's like clearly on her face. She's like fed up with the Phoeni-X by this point and has no interest in talking to more of you, but here she is. Good morning, Samurai. Have you had your rice today?
I have indeed.
I meet her with an appropriate bow. Yes, I have. Yourself? I trust you are being treated hospitably, given the circumstances?
Yes. Other than the interference to my duties, I've been treated just fine.
I don't react to that statement. And then I say, we have a few questions for you. Could you perhaps explain to us what happened?
Of course, I was invited by the master of the dojo to give a lecture to the kids on the Order of the Kuni Witch Hunters. So on the Phoenix's dime, I traveled here and I went to, I came to the dojo and I did my duty. I was in the lecture and I was speaking of the 3 sacred substances when I passed them around, and one of the children had a negative reaction to, to the sacred substance, and so after I tested the child for the taint, I then tested the rest of the children in the room, and I found that there were 6 children out of a class of 20 that were infected. And when I requested that when 30% of the student body is corrupted, that makes me suspicious. So when I requested that the head of the dojo let me test the children every class, it was denied. And when I informed him that he was interfering with imperial law, he had me arrested and has kept me in this castle since.
Tell me, are events like this common amongst crab?
Are what like this?
Are events like this common among crab? Where a significant portion of a class of students is found to bear spiritual corruption?
A great deal of the crab are corrupted, but that's usually only after we've served on the wall for some time.
So it is not a normal occurrence then?
It is certainly abnormal.
What do you think could have caused this corruption? These are children, obviously, and they have not spent time on the wall or in the Shadowlands.
Well, if it was confined to this one, I have not been able to properly investigate this, so I cannot say. If it is combined to this classroom, then I'd say the children have formed some sort of cabal with one another and might be blood speakers, although I haven't been able to check their bodies for wounds or anything like that. If not, there could be a Kansen within the on the premises that might be corrupting the children, or it might be the location where they're from. They could be.
There might be what corrupting the children?
Consent.
That's the like the dark kami that teach people Maho.
Okay.
However, since the those would be the best case scenario. However, since the children were immune to jade but injured by crystal, I assume that it's a more malevolent force than perhaps that, and they could be working for a very evil Shadowlands creature if that's the case.
So you're saying they are not affected by jade? It was crystal.
Yes, that seemed to be the case when I investigated them. They showed no reaction to jade. Which...
Have you encountered such odd combination of reactions before?
Personally, I've never encountered a being corrupted by the Shadowlands that is not also injured by jade. However, I have heard tales of powerful Maho, Sukai, or even Shadowlands creature being immune to, or being at least resistant to jade. Which is my fear with the children, and while your clan wastes my time, whatever this being that's corrupted them could be growing yet stronger.
How many other classes are there in the dojo?
Man, a question I wasn't prepared to answer. Let's say in total there's 20 classes, 5 of them are for the Asako Inquisitors, and 15 are for the Lore Masters.
Okay, so I was just trying to get a kind of like a bearing on how many possibly, like, there could be 100 of these kids tainted if every class, if a third of every class, if every class is about this size and a third of every class is tainted.
Yep. Looks like 120 students if it's consistent across the way.
Now, who was it that placed you under arrest? The sensei or the dynamo?
The Lord of the Castle is the one that ordered me to be put away.
Oh. Is he also the one who prevented you from checking the other students?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
I requested to check the other classes. The sensei went to his master to see if that was acceptable. He declared it was not, and also had me. When I insisted, he had me put under arrest.
Isawa nods and then looks at Asako. It's sort of a look that says, like, are you done here?
There'd be a slight tilt down in the chin, not so much nod. Almost a nod, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I believe we are done here. Phoeni.
And she says very well, and she stands to her feet and she says, everybody at the castle's aware of it, but it's only fair that you guys know too. My own lord is coming here for an inquiry on the situation, and so it's been made clear to me that if this is not resolved by the time he gets here, there shall be consequences for the castle and all who call it home.
We expect a quick resolution, but just to be sure, when is your master set to arrive?
Oh, unfortunately, he's been uprooted from the Crablands, but he should be here by the end of the month. That's about 3 weeks away.
That seems like quite a distance to travel for such a matter, grave as it is.
Well, the Kuni take daimyos of families harboring tainted children quite seriously. And with that, she bows and leaves the room.
Isuo bows slightly less deeper. He's somewhat annoyed at some of the accusations she has been making towards the other families in his clan. Isuo turns to Asako and says, "Perhaps we had also best speak with the Lord."
Likely be necessary.
I would like to have his take on why he chose to take the measures he has taken.
It is perplexing.
Indeed. So next, I believe we have an interview with the doctor.
Yes, sir. And the major domo slides open the screen door and allows the doctor to enter.
We'll tell the major domo what we just mentioned, and that we want to speak to the Lord.
And during this interview, he will head to the Lord and try to arrange it.
Okay.
The physician comes in. He takes a bow. And he sits down on his own cushion.
But after I speak to the major domo, but before the physician, I would like to ask Asako again. Perhaps before too many interviews, it might be worth it to consult the kami.
Sorry, repeat that.
Before too many interviews, perhaps it might be in our best interest to try to consult the kami and see what they have to say on the matter.
I did have that thought, yes.
And is it possible for you to see if any of those out of character, I don't remember what the kami were called, but kind of the dark kami that teach. What is it?
I will make a casting of Sense Void. Unfortunately, the range isn't very great, so. What said? Yeah.
Perhaps if we do it in the classroom, or maybe the dormitories for the...
That does seem wise.
Then will you be exiting the interview room?
I think with this, we'll commence with the interview, since the guy's already waiting.
Very well. I will postpone the other interviews until you are prepared. And so now the physician comes in and sits down. He's a chubby older man with a round face.
It's like the last physician was overweight too, huh?
Yeah.
It's like a trend here.
Yeah.
Doctors are tight,
Okay.
guys. I like the job that doctors do. I have nothing against the medical field.
have you? So I shall bow appropriately to the doctor, and I shall say, I shall introduce myself. I am Iswat Sasai. This is my partner, Asako Hiroshi. We would like to ask you a few questions. Were you aware of the condition of these children before the incident?
I'd never seen these children before in the entire time they've been to the dojo.
You have never seen them?
Nope, they'd never been sick. They'd never gotten ill or broken any bones. They'd never had any need for my intervention.
Is that common that there are children here who are never sick?
That seems to contradict information that we have regarding Sako Arisu in particular. I believe she was. Is that a she or a he?
That's a she.
That's a she. Yeah. I believe that she frequently was having nightmares.
Okay. If she was, she never consulted me about it.
Are there other healers on
I
the
suppose
premises?
I'll have to ask her what healer she saw then.
Yes, there definitely are like other healers within the castle. This is like a fairly expansive estate.
Okay.
This is like the guy specifically for the the dojos.
Is there any particular reason why one might seek a different physician than the dojo physician?
Well, I don't want to put ideas in anybody's mind, but if a family knows that their child is tainted, but doesn't want that interfering with the eligibility of their heir, nightmares are certainly a symptom of it, so they might want those matters to be dealt with someone who can be discreet about it. I am bound by duty to report any signs of corruption to my superiors.
Truly, you are a dutiful member of the Asako family.
My thanks.
Have you seen any other signs of taint?
Within the other children, or within the children once I examined them?
Within any child recently within the dojo?
Recently, I cannot say I have.
How
So-
recently do you mean by recent?
Let's see. About 12 years back, there was a child who, was corrupted.
How long have you been here
20 years.
serving?
20
a long
years, and
time
before
indeed.
that, I served in the legions.
How thoroughly do you
ha-
know those with medical knowledge within Kyudnasako?
How come is what?
How aware are you of a relatively complete list of those with medical knowledge within the castle?
We all travel within similar circles, so I can get you a list for sure of the.
That would very much be appreciated.
Of course, I will. And Asako Hako rips off a piece of paper from her notebook and will hand it to him as he starts jotting down as many of the physicians of the estate as he can think of.
have you treated the children since the incident?
We do have a supply of jade petal tea for such occurrences, so we've been giving them, daily doses or the right doses of that to keep the spread at bay.
And has the tea worked appropriately?
None of them have gotten any worse. Which is to say yes.
Have you tested the other children?
Yeah, since the incident has happened, whenever a child comes into my office, I've been making a point to test them for corruption, but so far I haven't found anything.
So it's simply those who have already had pre-existing issues that have been that.
Yeah, so you've only tested the children that have come to your office.
Yes.
And you haven't, but the students in question had never been to your office prior.
That's correct.
So they would have never been detected. Out of character,
yes.
Would it be within our, rights to order this guy to, kind of methodically test everyone? Or at least the students?
At the moment, you have the authority of, the Asako Inquisitors behind you, so yes, if you tell him to do that, then he's under orders to do that.
I look at Asako kind of I look at Asako with a face of sort of maybe not disbelief but questioning. In your professional opinion, how has this situation been handled?
It is peculiar. I can understand to a degree why those amongst my family would prefer those from another clan not be involved with the process. Though it does seem slightly negligent to me that due diligence hasn't been done, especially amongst the Inquisitors.
I agree. I look to the physician again. 12 years ago, when a similar incident happened, what was the protocol at the time?
Well, 12 years ago, the girl was complaining of heat flashes and nightmares.
Hello?
And so can you hear me, Kim?
Hello?
Hey. I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear Chris anymore.
Can Joshua hear me?
Yep, I can hear both of you. Ken says he can't hear you though.
Yeah, I can hear Ken. That's baloney. Let's see, let me... How's that,
So
Ken?
you can't hear me then either, considering you relayed the message?
I can hear you, yeah. I can hear both of you.
I can't hear Chris. Can Chris hear me?
He wrote he can hear you in the chat. In Discord.
Okay. So that's interesting.
But he's hearing you through Discord, so your problem is probably through Roll20.
Resetting the Roll20 and seeing if it works then, since the Discord was not working very well earlier.
Okay.
All I want is just to play a nice spooky game of L5R. Why do I have to fight tooth and nail to have this happen? Hey, can
When
you
you
hear
guys
me?
have-
Hello, hello?
I can hear you now.
There we go. Perfect. 12 years ago, when the girl fell ill, she had heat flashes and nightmares, and so she came to me complaining. I tested her for the taint. We called the Cooney in to give her her supply of tea, and when we did that, we made sure to check her entire class to see if anybody else was tainted.
And yet the similar protocol hasn't been followed this time around.
Yes, sir.
Well,
May
the
I
class.
ask who provided the most pushback against the idea?
The Lord of the Castle.
Has the Lord of the Castle specifically ordered you not to test, or to only test those who approach you
He's
in
only
your office?
yeah, he's commanded for nobody to do any testing until Office 34 arrives on to make their decision.
What was that?
He's ordered that nobody else tests any of the children until you guys arrive. Because he doesn't want it to look like they're covering up evidence or anything, or...
So it's prudence of having further oversight.
Yes. That's the explanation that the doctor has for it.
I suppose given the scale, the response being different is not all that surprising. A single subject is very different. Multiple.
I suppose, but one would think it would be best to get to the bottom of this quickly. Oops. And your name. What did you say your name was again? I asked the physician.
Ruh-roh. I am Shiba Takata.
Very well. That is all the questions I have for you currently.
Very well. I hope
Asako?
I could be of assistance to you today.
Polite bow.
And as he exits, your associate Asako Hako would, peeks her head forward and says, "Excuse me, Samas, may I interject into the
You may.
investigation?" So
Yes.
the Kuni mentioned that it could be they might have brought the tank here with them. So I've been looking over the files that I assembled for you, and I actually noticed that all the students that were infected, they're all from the same city.
I've noticed that as well. Indeed, one of them is the son of the governor of said city.
And she nods and says, "Oh, of course you already know. Sorry, Isawa-sama."
She backs it.
Perhaps it would be in our interest to talk to the Kuni again to see if they have had any issues with taint in...
I ought to write a letter to my sensei as well. Nikesake is where I spent the portion of my life once my training began.
Yes, I wonder if
My sensei
there are...
is still there.
That's a good plan.
That would be helpful. I wonder if such occurrences are common in Nikasaki currently.
So I'd pen a brief letter to my sensei, basically asking if there's been any unusual spiritual activity there, what he knows about forms of spiritual corruption that Jade does not touch, but Crystal does. And
Good job not being meta.
yeah, I know exactly what's probably going on here. And it's actually something that's I'm going to be very handy for, but
Can I make a lore theology roll for that? Or would that be more like lore Shadowlands or something? Would lore theology work?
It would probably be a very certain forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and make a roll, but it's gonna be vague.
Okay.
You know that's a good roll.
I need to start thinking about taking raises on some of these rolls because it's just I'm not used to declaring that before I roll.
It could be maybe they're like possessed by spirits of some sort, because like some pure spirits react badly to crystal but aren't necessarily tainted, so Jade doesn't hurt them.
Yeah, those would be the two primary things. Obviously, it would start with the pleasantries of everything that one would expect to have for pleasantries with one's sensei, especially a sensei with whom you are expected to be with at every given moment during your training, because that's what an Ishikin does for the first several years of their training. They are not allowed to not be at their master's side. So yeah, pleasantries, asking about whether there's anything unusual happening spiritual-wise in Nikasake, or has been in the past several years, and whether there's anything that Crystal harmed, but Jade does not.
Okie doke. And a courier takes it and sends it on fastest falcon.
I know not precisely when an answer will arrive, but I am sure there is some knowledge that will be able to be gleaned.
It'd be tight if you had a spell that could let you communicate far distances.
Yeah, the more voidy ones like that are a little bit higher level than I'm capable of casting.
Little too voidy.
Isua
On the
nods.
tensai.
Isua nods and says, shall we consult the kami?
To quickly remember what the hell I have for spells. Because 2 weeks when I've only had one session to look over my spells has left me a bit forgetful. Da, 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 da. I'm not really sure I have anything that's actually particularly relevant right now, but
Oh, well, out of character, what did you do last time where you like
that was sense
got a
void.
bunch of these like images from the void or something?
Oh, that's commune with the void. Basically, I was looking through reality itself, and it's basically just a commune spell, except I'm looking at reality.
Oh, so that wouldn't work here.
I would just like to remind you that's the spell that convinced his character that he was a blood speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I it's maybe better than nothing. Okay. So I guess with that, what was the other thing we'd mentioned we wanted to do? With that, we'll
Most
continue
of what
our
you wanted
interview.
me to cast was in the dojo itself.
Right. Yeah, but can't we? Okay. We can't do that now.
You can.
Yeah, so let's go cast that. I guess.
Cool. You're escorted to the dojo, which has been cleared out for you.
Well, the sensible thing to do would be for me to try and see if there's anything spirit-wise here.
Yeah, cast a commune with Canson.
I was thinking sense
I'm
void.
also,
Oh, okay.
as we move about the dojo, I'm gonna have like my eyes peeled for anything strange. I'm
Re-raise.
going.
So, if there's any sort of spirits or anything, or purely Shadowlands creatures, not tainted human, within 30 feet of me, then I feel a gap. But I also feel every living creature.
That 30 feet's a real bummer.
Yeah, it's not very good range.
Can you-
And every raise is only 5 more feet.
That answers my first question. My second question is, could you do you have to be stationary when you cast it, or can you cast it and then kind of concentrate and just move around?
I should be able to concentrate and move around. It's just I can't do anything more than walk.
Ken, as you walk around the dojo, you sense that on the floor, just every once in a while, there are like tiny, like flicks, like tiny dust of unreality within your perimeter.
That is very strange.
Would you, Kenneth, would like to make
What-
an investigation roll for me?
Sure.
Dope. Sweet explosion. So you
And
managed
it
to
actually counted it.
you managed to concentrate, and you find one of these tiny little bit of blank space in your perception, and you manage to like run your finger along it or something like that and accumulate it on your finger. Now, can you actually see when you're like this, or are you like Daredevil and you have like a black and white 360 view?
Let me read the description here. I imagine it's a more presence absent. I feel that there's things there or not.
Oh, okay. I was imagining you were like doing an X-ray scan on the world or something.
I think the closest equivalent in anything I have read about was in the old Star Wars extended universe, the whole sensing the Force thing, and that the Yuzhen Vong or whatever they were called, how you could feel the absence of things there. It's kind of like that sort of concept.
All right, I'll take it. And then you can see there's like tiny white dust on your finger. And that is what's not, doesn't exist.
I'd ask if that crystal is anywhere handy.
1 second. And they bring you a crystal.
I'd touch my contaminated fingers to the crystal.
It disintegrates. The dust does.
There is a spiritual contamination.
Is that congruent with a Kensei Kame?
No, this is different. Spirits of all types, be they kami or even things from the spirit realms themselves, like Chikushido. There's a gap in my awareness. Reality is still there. But this is different. It is almost as if reality itself does. I've never seen something like this before.
Is it possible for us to continue exploring with this perception on?
This is deeply troubling.
Indeed.
The void is present everywhere, but not here. That which I touch, it simply does not exist.
And the Isawa who can't cast magic is like, yeah, I get it.
To be fair, the one that does cast magic, ooh, actually, never mind, they're Shiba, also would be like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sort of... I'd imagine both in character and out of character, I'm at a loss. Shall we look elsewhere for these signs?
This does seem prudent. I may have to insist, as we interview the children, I may need to create a spell.
Asawa nods. Oh shoot, so now I remember what I wanted to do earlier. I wanted to order the doctor to test everyone.
All right.
The major domo nods and runs to see the doctor.
Yeah, I'll to say it in character, I'll turn to the major domo and I say, I want to order the doctor to methodically test each and every student within the schools for taint using crystal and jade.
I'm not sure that this is rightly taint. I've not seen a truly tainted creature before. But in my sensei's teaching, I was told that it appears much like any other spiritual creature. Though within the hearts of men, even the void is blind.
That's a good one.
So this is something else then.
And off the record, how crazy would it be if you cast that jutsu and like Isawa just wasn't there? You just like found out a character secret on accident. Anyway. So, are you going to continue to use the spell to further investigate the area or do another interview?
I don't think there's much else I can glean beyond the fact that there is something off here. Especially since my character has no knowledge of what this is.
Okay.
I think I would. I probably will have to make a second casting for this because I will have broken my concentration doing all the other things.
Right.
So I'll do another cast. And what I will do is I will mark out the areas that are contaminated and tell people that these spots don't touch. There's something bad there. I don't know what it is, but there's something bad there.
Sounds good.
So,
Yep.
So I go around marking it all the bad, dusty, weird dust.
Very prudent. Yeah, there's not many areas, but you definitely find a few in the whole dojo and quarantine them.
Do the children stay in the dojo, or do they have like a dormitory on site or something?
There's barracks for them, and these students were taken to their own private barracks as like a quarantine.
It does seem prudent to check the barracks currently.
Can you say that again?
It does seem prudent to also check over where these children slept.
Indeed.
That sounds
where
good.
They ate.
Indeed. Shall we do that now?
Would you like the children to be present for that, or would you like them to not be?
Simply until we know that the area is safe and uninterrupted with whatever this is. It seems prudent to have them out of there.
Okay.
I would like for them to wait outside, directly outside the barracks.
Sounds good.
So that way, like, they're probably still within range of Asako's like perception.
Oh yeah.
You know, like within range of the spell, basically.
We can stealth scan the children.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So you guys head to the barracks. The children are escorted out, and Asako heads in and does his thing. I'm more than willing to count the last roll he made as the roll for this as well. So with your spell, you detect that there are there's more of like the motes of
of dust on the floor again. But more importantly, you detect that among the belongings of each of these children, there's a large concentration of this thing. It's like in their bags, just like sitting up on a nightstand. Things such as that.
The children's belongings are tainted.
I would also like to take this opportunity to. I wanted to mention this earlier, but Ken started talking. So as we're moving about the palace and things like that, I wanted to keep an eye out for like anything strange.
Okay.
And also like any wounds on the children or anything like that, like any signs of blood magic. But especially now that we're in the barracks, I might even kind of like snoop around.
Okay. Want to make an investigation roll for me?
I do indeed.
No. Yeah, you know, they've got like knives and stuff in their packs, and that's very suspicious. And this one kid has whetstones, and that's weird, and you don't like it. They'll have red clothing to hide the blood.
Okay.
As for you, Ken, would you like to pull out one of those?
I'll relay that information.
I like it.
Pull out one of those.
You know, see what's causing the intense form of taint.
I assume I was allowed to bring the crystal with me.
Yes.
I'd basically be doing touch the crystal, open up the bag a little more, touch the crystal. Being very careful to decontaminate myself every time I touch it.
Of course, of course. Yeah, you see inside the container there's sort of like a little bamboo like box, basically.
I would try flipping it open.
Okay, cool. Inside the lid has a blue lotus on it, and you take that lid, you flip it off, and you see that there's a lot of white powder inside of this container.
Cocaine.
Cocaine, the ultimate taint. Drugs.
I mean, they are corrupting our children.
That's right.
Do I know what this white powder is?
Nobody knows what this white powder is.
What?
Nobody knows. You do not.
I'd close it back up the moment it was clear that we have no idea what this is. And I'd check whether there's similar boxes in the other children's.
Yeah, you know, they're not all the same box, but some of them have just like little baggies of stuff. But yeah, they've all got the similar thing going on.
So, like, seriously, some of them have it in little baggies?
Okay, Chinese herbalism, they like keep stuff in these like, you know the vibe. They don't have like Ziploc bags. Nobody has it in a balloon. Yeah.
Sako, what is this?
This all bears the same mark. as what was in the dojo.
I'm trying to like tell myself that it's probably not a good idea to do the thing where you like dip your finger in
Rub it
the
on your
white
gums.
powder and taste it. Yeah. I'd be just rubbing some sort of like taint, like some evil commie thing on my gums.
He's basically just stated that this is this whatever's contaminating things. This is it. This is the same stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you want to check out those kids?
Yeah.
But you have to say the sentence that I just
Threw
said.
them all towards the children.
There we
Good
go.
idea.
You know, so you press yourself up against the wall and you peer through the other side. And you definitely sense that there's non-existence within the children, but you can detect the children as well. It's like bits and pieces of them are missing. It's like you know, the static on a TV channel. That's
At this, there'd be a loss of face and a very grim look on Asako's face.
Asawa looks questioningly. Yes.
They all bear it.
Asawa nods.
Not as strongly as that which surrounds this dust.
And it all emanates from this white powder.
It is a similar nature, but the children, they are incomplete. I know not a better word for it.
Isawa nods. Perhaps it is time to speak to the youth. And then I'll also relay, I'll say, I found many knives within their, well, maybe not many. I found knives within their belongings, as well as red clothing, which could be used to hide any blood. It could also be just that they are that they wear the clan colors, however.
Umbeyashi, he nods sagely when he hears you say this and moves on.
If we are,
I have
if we are,
grim news.
yes.
Whatever spiritual contamination is present within would appear to be present within the entire
What?
The entire what?
the entire class. It is not as strong as what I felt within the dojo, but there is something amiss.
The entire class? You mean all of the students? Or the
Every
building,
single one.
the room?
None are clear of whatever this is.
Well, out of character, we just scanned the 6 students that were already known to have been.
That's
No,
true.
the-
They were given their own like private quarantine barracks.
Yeah.
Weren't we scanning like the normal people in the dojo? The supposedly
No.
normal, not the.
No, the physicians doing that. We were just scanning the ones that were already known because they were quarantined in a different barracks, is my understanding.
Yes.
Okay, I was misunderstanding the situation.
Much less dire.
If we have questions regarding this white powder, perhaps the expertise of the Cooney Inquisitor could be of some use.
I am going to quickly pen a second letter to send out, and I'd specifically mention the white powder as well as that blue lotus symbol. Same thing to my sensei, and see what he knows about anything to do with a blue lotus in Nikisake.
Gotcha. I love the idea of like an hourly report from like these messenger birds.
It might not be that frequent, but he's probably going to just finish a letter when another letter arrives.
So, next interview with the kids?
Actually, I'm gonna go outside and kind of do the bad cop thing, or the like sort of scared straight thing, where I just kind of walk around and stare down the kids, see if any of them look like they're gonna break or anything. And I'm also going to inspect them for like wounds.
Okie doke. Why don't you make a investigation for me? They all look very concerned as what appears to be a Lion Clan samurai comes out and mad mugs them.
Well, I am wearing the same roll. I am wearing Phoeni-X colors.
Oh, you are? Okay. Your armor is the one
Yeah.
that looks like, okay.
Yes, but I assume I'm not wearing my armor. Although that might be good to intimidate the kids, but it would be very unsamurai-like to try to...
You look at Asako and you're like, give me an hour. I have to put on my armor and run off.
I'm gonna do like an episode of Scared Straight samurai style. Yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of look them over. I rolled a 12.
Look what we have here. More red robes. Does their duplicity know no end?
But they don't look like. I guess what I'm mostly trying to like read their reactions. I suppose. I can't read them.
No. They seem very
Man, these kids
nonplussed
won't
as you
break.
look them over.
Have either of you seen the movie The Big Lebowski?
I haven't.
I have not either.
Oh, well, it's worth seeing. But there's one scene where there's like this kid and they're trying to break him and they're like berating him over his homework and he's like a 15-year-old kid and he's just sitting there in his living room. And he's just totally expressionless and John Goodman's like yelling at him. It's really funny.
I love the
anyway.
Coen brothers, so I should probably watch it.
Yeah, I think that's probably their best movie. So, and I mean, like Jeff Bridges, like every character you see Jeff Bridges in now is sort of like a kind of a characterization of the dude. So,
yeah.
Anyway, all right. I'm pulling up the kids' names. Sakoaki. I say that name among the 6 and see which one looks at me.
The one whose name that belongs to looks over at you.
Yeah.
Young lady. She scowls at you as you call her name.
We are magistrates of the Phoeni-X clan. Sent from Kuden Isawa. We are here to ask you some questions. We shall start with you.
Alrighty.
Follow me. And I go into the barracks.
Now just for like the pure sake of my sanity, the children are all gonna give you pretty similar answers, so.
Sure, yeah, no, yeah. It's also getting kind of late for me. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so if you want to just like summarize basically what their answers are.
Okay.
That would, or you mean we'll like question one, and assuming we ask similar questions, they'll all be sort of the same.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll take her to where Asako is.
Cool, cool.
Actually, why don't we'll interrogate each of the kids in their rooms, so that we could ask them what the white powder is.
Sounds good.
How long have you been at the dojo of the light flame?
So they all completed their like Genpuku at their other dojo, and then they came here for like their secondary schooling for the Asako Inquisitors. So they've all been here for a few months.
Can you describe what happened to you when the Honorable Kuni Maya Yumimoshi came to your dojo?
She holds up her hands. You see that it's still like red and irritated from having touched it a week or so ago. They were passing the obsidian, the jade, and the crystal around, and when it got to the crystal, she touched it, and it burned her hand.
I hear you were having nightmares, Asako.
This is the
This is
the
everybody.
first name on the list.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, if you want to ask that person that question, you...
That will be among my questions once we get to that particular.
Okie doke.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot there were two Asakos whose given name started with A.
They were gonna be twins, but then I saw that I made them two different ages, and that I couldn't do.
And you considered it easier to not make them twins than change the one's age.
I'm a fickle man.
Yes, so we'll ask them about their nightmares.
Okay.
We'll actually ask the student that we have known to be having nightmares, we'll ask about their nightmares, and then the other 5 will ask if they have had nightmares. And if they have, we'll, delve into that deeper.
Of course, only Arisu has a history of having nightmares. When you ask about it, she has the nightmares that she's sinking into the ground, and she's like in the middle of a white room, and there's people around her that are watching her sink into the ground. It's that dream pretty much every night.
Now, you were seeing a physician about that, but it wasn't the dojo physician. Who did you see?
In Nikasake, there's a healer and a midwife named Sai, and she's my private physician that my mother hired.
Have any of the rest of you seen Sai before?
I forgot that this is like a weird meta thing where we're switching between interviews. So we get 6 like different shots of kids going, yes, 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 yes.
Obviously, when that name is mentioned, my eyes light up. But I don't say anything until maybe after the first interview.
I would ask about the Blue Lotus symbol.
That's like what her clinic, what the symbol of it is.
Wait, Sai's symbol is of a blue lotus?
That's like the symbol for her clinic, as far as they know.
Oh crap!
I think
And
that's
the
all
stuff.
I have for questions.
So as soon as there was some more questions I wanted to. Yeah, I guess that's it for me as well.
You cut out for a while.
Oh, I think that is it for me as well. I don't have any other questions. When all the kids are gone, I'll turn.
I do have one more question actually.
Okay.
What is the powder
Oh yeah.
that they have? Does that
Oh
amount-
yeah.
Ooh, good question, Ken.
Yeah.
It's like an herbal like vitamin like supplement. It's supposed to keep them good and healthy.
Where did you
Frantic letter to Sensei, warning of the danger of Sai, and saying that she may to look at her through the void.
Where did you receive this letter? Or where did you receive this medicine?
She owns a clinic in Nikesake, and we go to, every few months we go to her for a checkout. Or checkup. Whatever they're called.
And what is the purpose of the medicine?
It's supposed to, keep us from getting sick. And it's worked. I've never been as sick a day in my life.
Yep.
Indeed. Very well then. When we're done questioning the kids, I'll look to Asako. I have two things that are most concerning to me. The first being the salve that was put into our wounds to prevent our illness. That came from a container bearing a blue lotus, I believe.
I'd immediately press the crystal to my wound.
You're feeling good.
And I'd press the crystal to his wound.
He's feeling good.
Yeah, I did want to ask the students what the sensation was when they touched the crystal.
Burning sensation?
Okay, so we don't feel that burning sensation?
No. And a burning sensation is what Shadowlands creatures feel when they touch Jade.
Well, either way, I'm going to take a preventative measure now. Strengthen the void. Actually, I'm going to do it with the children with radius. See what happens.
Okie doke.
How do you? I kind of want. I kind of want this to be role played. Like, so what do you tell Isawa you're going to do?
Considering the unreality that seems to surround this powder, I will seek to strengthen reality, much like one braces a falling roof.
Okay. I shall be by your side.
I guess I'll use the free raise for radius. I am not pressed for time on cast. So 25 feet.
Okay.
And that didn't work. Okay. I should have
Damn.
called more raises.
All right, let's take a look at this bell. Boy, it's a lot. Just reach the physical band, spell on the area, rain, after the tendency to avoid, blah blah blah, inflicting non-void spells, any creature of the light and darkness, and any moral creature with at least one child rank, enter the effect. So a deep sensitive and they leave and cannot re-enter it. Alrighty, so earlier today, Josh, you felt or earlier today, as in our lives as players, when the lady who was in your house left your abode, you felt like you suddenly like were able to breathe fresh air again. When he does this spell, you feel a similar way. But you feel like there's like more oxygen in the atmosphere now as he casts his spell. The kids seem like they're not being tortured.
Well, that's good.
They notice the atmosphere's changed, but they don't seem.
While they're still in this, I'm going to do another sense and see if it's done any.
Okay.
Oh, that's not a roll.
That bit of text before he rolled. That's like what he tells you he's about to do. Yeah, they still have whatever's going on inside of them. They still look like staticky TV screens to you.
So the next when the casting is all done, I will then relay the story of going into my home and encountering this Ronin. And I will include the message that she left me in the telling of my story. I will even include the little like statue thing she told me to put in the window or whatever.
Hey kid, make a theology roll for me.
Okay. I will void point. Just to be safe. This is actually a skill that I have. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
What do you know? The priest knows things about theology.
Mm.
You were saying.
Oh, wow. Quality roll.
Hiroshi just shrugs at you.
And I say what the name I saw in the note.
If the sensation was similar, it's reasonable to assume that, much like myself, the woman you met is attuned with the void.
I'm curious, does Asako have a dice show on him?
No, he just has a...
Okay.
He normally bears a staff as his combat weapon if he needs to actually do combat.
That means that when Hiroshi Jade strikes an Ibushi and is wrong about it, that means you're the one that's gonna have to duel for the honor.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I say that crossed my mind. Are you familiar with the woman I described?
No.
I imagine not. Is that reasonable to assume that I have no idea who she is?
It is very
Just that
reasonable.
she's-
In fact, it is
Just
correct.
that she's probably an Ashikin. I have not heard of any Ronin who are attuned in such a way. Normally, if a child is born, the Isawa family quickly locates the child and takes them away for training. I myself was spirited away when mere days after my first clear attunement.
Yes, of course. Shall we... Well, it would seem that all signs are pointing to this white powder, which has been coming from Nikasaki. That that 6 of the students all have, in the same class, all have this powder on them.
Yet they all come from Nikasake.
Yes.
It is reasonable that should this physician be as prominent as she appears to be, that she would be a common choice of visit for anyone seeking medical care.
Indeed.
It would be more unusual were they from different places, but it cannot be mere coincidence that they all saw the same position in the same city, bear the same medication, and all bear the same symptomology.
And with that, since unfortunately we had like an hour and a half taken away from us, the session's gonna end there. Case number 3 takes place in Nikesake, so I think the investigation into this doctor should coincide with the events of case number 3. Does that sound all right with everybody?
That sounds perfectly fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I would have liked to have finished the interrogations, but we could maybe do that. Otherwise, I also wanted to ask, did the students' reports of the incident that occurred in the classroom line up with the Coonies?
Yes, they did.
I also wanted to like go and talk to the Coonie again to see if he knew what this white powder was.
Okay, if you want to finish up anything in the castle tonight, that's perfectly okay with me.
Yeah, if it's up, I'd be up for that if Ken's up for it.
I'd be perfectly fine with that as well.
Yeah, I've got all night, so I was worried about you.
The main objective that I have is when we do get to the interview with the daimyo, I would request that any medication provided by the physician from Nikasaka named Sai be gathered up and sealed, locked away, at least until this investigation.
Okay.
Okie doke. Then with that, who would you like to interview next?
I think I'd like to return to the Coonie if Asako is good with that.
Yeah.
All right. So you are the Cooney is brought to you in the interview room.
I shall ask I'll describe the white powder to the Coonie, and I'll see if he knows anything about Like if he's ever in his first come across it.
She strokes her chin, thinks about it for a few minutes. It's not uncommon for grain shipments to be corrupted by the taint, but I'm not familiar with this white powder.
And then I'll say it's coming from the same. All 6 of them had it in among their belongings, and it is coming from the same healer in Nikasake.
Now that's a very common tale. Yeah, Blood's Mahosukai many times will corrupt children and unhealthy people in such a way. So, Ishiken, you're telling me that they do not appear like a tainted creature in the void?
It is very difficult to ascertain tainted humans through the void. That said, I saw something I have never seen before. And it was not only present on them. It was also present in places where they had been. Almost as if reality itself was weaker than it should be.
Well, that's disturbing. I can't think of other than the taint, I can't think of a spiritual corruption that leaves a physical presence.
Okay.
I will say
so
this,
with that,
simply out of concern for you, there was significant contamination within the dojo itself. Would you object if I were to see whether you bear the unfortunate result?
By all means. She does not.
how do the children take in the white powder? Do they ingest it?
Yeah, they ingest it. They like put it in water and drink it like that, or yeah.
Oh, okay.
She looks like a normal human being in the Voidkin.
You are not contaminated in the same manner.
What do you mean the same manner?
I mean, the strange thing I witnessed upon them is not upon you as well.
Yeah, but the same manner implies I'm corrupted in a different way.
That it was not my intent. I am not the most social of people. The way of the courtier is not among my way. I know not even well how to speak to the kami.
This one has this like, oh, here we go again face.
But he said I don't speak very well to the kami.
Well, I believe that is all. Shall we quickly speak to the physician again, or to see what the results were of his tests?
That seems sensible.
He gets
go
brought
to the
in.
physician.
Yep, bows before.
Yeah.
How are the
We
children?
both. I bow appropriately.
Since we started testing, we've managed to go through the class and we found 3 other children that had negative reaction to crystal. And we've
Where are they from?
Nikisake.
Is it the same children?
Nope,
Or the
it's
same children?
it's
Is
three
it
different children.
the same class?
Nope, different class.
May I ask that you gather all the children who come from Nikosake or who have lived there at any point in their lives before me?
Of course.
Same deal, gonna scan them all.
Is that enough? Oh, 10 out of 10. Yeah. 9 of them are exactly the same. They're a little bit fuzzy, and then there's like 3 others that only have a little bit of that going on. And they're some of the younger classmates.
I would state before these children that there is reason to believe that the physician known as Sai is not acting in your best interests. If there is any medication that you have received from Sai, turn it over to the Shugenja who is gathering such materials among the castle guard. Your very existence is at stake.
Damn, that's heavy.
And as the powers vested in us as magistrates by the clan, I don't know who would vest it, by the clan champion? I don't know. By the clan champion, we further prohibit you from taking any more of the white powder medication from Sai until this matter can be looked into further.
They all nod in understanding.
The final thing that I would have to say is to have each member of the people from Nikosake inform how long they've been taking the medication so that it's kind of a complete listing to figure out, along with how corrupt, and I basically cross-reference how corrupted they appear to me versus how long they've been taking the medication.
Okie dokie. So out of like the 40 kids that went to Nikosake, only 12 of them, 12 of them were corrupted in some way. The 9 who were thoroughly corrupted, they've been taking it ever since they were teenagers, basically. And they were, these were the students that were like past their Genpuku. The 3 that were only slightly corrupted, have not reached their Genpuku yet. They're from like the courtier school, and so they've hit adolescence like more recently. So they've been taking it for a lot less time.
What's the least amount of time for the ones that are corrupted?
3 months.
So we're probably in the clear at least.
Well, we haven't taken any.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, Asako? No, I'm just kidding.
We've had 1 dose and they've had it for 3 months, so.
What are you talking about?
I think that's all that I aim to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, I would Asawa would like to inform the Dynamo or the Lord of the castle of the findings. We should also probably talk to the parent who traveled here to talk to us.
Oh yeah, we probably should.
I can't imagine why being rude with her would hurt your investigation into her city next week.
Although that might be something Jordan might want to like be here for. Maybe he
Maybe.
won't ask questions because he's sick, but it might be something he would want to like hear, and then we could just say we let him know what happened.
Oh, that was another thing I was going to mention is I would send out a letter back to headquarters saying that we're heading to Nikasake. We're not coming back before then.
Okay.
Oh, so
Just so that he doesn't pointlessly come here.
Is the mother the governor or the governor's spouse?
wife.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe that should take place next week. But yeah, we'll inform the Lord of our findings, and maybe speak with the Lord and physician and tell them to like be on the lookout for this stuff.
Yep. Like I said, I'd be mentioning to the daimyo that they should be gathering up anything that was prescribed by the Nikasake physician Sai and locking it away until further notice.
Okay. They agree to that.
It should be handled as if it is a spiritual contaminant.
Should we also send a falcon to the to Nikasake to possibly shut down the healer there?
That's no fun. You guys have to do it yourselves.
Oh, okay. Well, it just seems like by the time we get there, maybe she's like, for all we know, she has this huge racket going and she's spreading this stuff all around. It seems like, I don't know. It might be reasonable.
I did send out that letter that included watch this person to my sensei.
Yeah, but that's different than like sending a letter to the Dynamo saying like have this person arrested. Right? I don't know. But maybe we wouldn't. I don't know if that's like not a thing that samurai would do. Maybe they would do that themselves.
Who knows?
It just seems like we're under a kind of time constraint.
Yeah, I get you. But before we end today's session, I want you guys to make the definitive call for this for this session. Basically, what's do you give them the go ahead to let the Kuni go? What's your resolution for the situation at the castle?
I think so.
I would mention to the Kuni that the contamination is likely not of a sort that the Kuni are familiar with, but that it's being dealt with in the strictest manner, and that we're off to go deal with it directly.
I would say that we would request that she be released, and then I think I would invite her if she has reservations about how it's being handled. I would invite her to come to Nagasaki with us to be updated on the situation.
Oh, cool. She'll take you up on that.
I'd also apologize on behalf of my family for the inconvenience.
Very nice. Alrighty, so technically that's one case closed. As the case was
Cool.
Solving the political dispute between the two families.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I feel like we were kind of rushed, and it would have been cool to like be able to role play out some of those scenes, but I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sweet.
If it weren't for the hour and a half of mic problems, I might not have rushed so much.